Hey, First Baptist Church family, Pastor Derek here. Thanks for tuning into this week's update. A little bit different update today. As you can tell, I'm in my car. I'm multitasking, but I gotta tell you, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at the road, so don't worry. Also, instead of the traditional update kind of things going on at the church, I wanted to just share with you something that came to my heart as I was studying this morning and praying and meditating on the Lord. He threw into my head the story of Mary and Martha, which many of you probably know that story very well. But I just want to start off by sharing with you just this quick thought. Many people in our communities around us, even within our own church community, are yearning to be a part of another person's life, other people's lives. So they want to connect, they want to be in community, and but when it comes to that time of doing it, it becomes somewhat of a challenge. And we see that really in the story of Mary and Martha. So Jesus is walking along and comes into the town where Martha lives, and Martha invites Jesus into her home. I mean, she's the one that comes and says, please come to my house. In that moment when she invites Jesus into her home, you can see by the words and the feeling on the page that she is yearning for community. She wants to be in the same space as Jesus. And so Jesus gives her that opportunity. He agrees to do so. He comes in, and the first thing that Martha does is she backs away from being a part of Jesus' personal space. She starts doing things around the house to in effort probably to make his stay even more hospitable. But in those moments where she is away from Jesus' feet, by the way, that's where Mary, Martha's sister, is, she has stepped away from the thing that would bring her into a really close relationship with Jesus. And I share that with you today because this is one of the things I think that humanity has difficulty with. It's the one thing they want so badly, but it's the one thing they're so fearful of. And we see this, even in our own church community, where there are opportunities and space and efforts for people to connect and be a part of a smaller community, or connect and even be more intimate with the current community. And when the time comes, even though they're yearning for it, they step away from it. They pull away from it for whatever reason. And one of the things I want to say is, if you are that person that find yourself somewhat like Martha, where you're yearning to be closer to more people, to have real strong, intimate connections, so that when you're doing life together, things that come up, you can care for them together, or you want to celebrate together. But when the time comes for you to actually exercise the opportunity to get close to somebody and you fail, I want to encourage you to try to step out of your comfort zone and really enter into that space with those people. And here is why. Jesus simply talks to Mary as he is teaching, and she is learning, and there's this real connection happening between them, and she's getting to know the Lord, who later, as she learns at the cross and at the tomb, that he is the redemptive God. He's the one that comes to bring all love and place it before every person in the world, whether they choose it or not. And so in that moment in time when she is connecting with Jesus, she is getting something even more than she expected. And I really think that's what happens in relationships. That when you really invest in them, when you fully become vulnerable and you invest in those relationships, you will get out of them more than you put into them. Now, I understand some of us have been hurt by people. I get that. I know that. I've been hurt by people. But I will say that the ones that I've invested in completely and have received more love than I expected. They far outweigh the ones that disappointed me. And so I just wanted to share that with you, because one of the things that I am so thankful for is that I am a part of a community that is much larger than just my immediate family, and it's called First Baptist Church. And each one of you that I know have a imprint on my heart, and I love you dearly. And I, even though that we have some times where we don't necessarily see eye to eye, I cannot think of a time of not doing life with you. And that's really true. And the point that I'm trying to make is that we have a wonderful community to do life with. And as we enter into this Thanksgiving season, which is just a week away, can you believe that? A week from next Wednesday. That's hard to believe. 10 days away, we'll be in Thanksgiving. As we enter into Thanksgiving, I would encourage you to really think about the opportunity that we are placing before you to be a part of the Thanksgiving meal on November 24th. And that comes next weekend. Next Sunday evening, we're going to be celebrating that. And it's going to be a really fun time, because we're going to have everybody in our church available to be there. There's going to be space for everybody to be there. We are going to provide turkey and stuffing as the main dish, of course, and then everybody else can bring their favorite dish and side dish and favorite dessert. But the most important thing is that we'll come together as a community, and we can build those relationships over a meal, just like Jesus built many relationships. And so again, if you are a Martha in this story and you have difficulty engaging, even though you yearn to engage, I would encourage you to remember that God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. It's the opposite. He gives us a spirit of courage. It doesn't mean we don't feel the emotion of fear, but it means that we can use the love that Christ gives to us in life to overcome that fear and move in a way that will allow our lives to be what Jesus hoped, and that would be a large community. So that was on my heart today, and thank you for tuning into this week's update. And I really hope to see all of you on the 24th, next Sunday evening, for our Thanksgiving meal. And remember that our mission statement is drawing our communities and world into a deeper relationship with God. I'll see you Sunday.